This is episode number 95 of the Thunder Underground podcast. My name is Trent, and as always, this is Jason.
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on?
We're inching closer to 100, and we're inching closer to the end.
Yes, the end in a couple different ways, probably.
Yeah, two different ways, because today is Tuesday.
Yes.
November 8th, which means tonight the end happens in Tulsa because Black Sabbath is here.
That's right.
And the rest of the country, the end happens because Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, but basically Hillary Clinton will be your president. So the end is here.
Hey, either way, like I've said, either way, get your fucking underground bunkers ready. Start conserving your ammo and canned foods. We're all fucked.
Here's the deal. If you're listening to this early in the day, if this isn't like a day later or a week later, get out and vote. You could vote for Adam Joad for president.
That's who I'm voting for.
You could vote for Glenn Hughes for president.
Oh, man.
You could vote for the whole Gravehuffer band. You could vote for the whole Scattered Hamlet band. All four of those guys are deserving of political office.
That's right.
And if you don't believe that, then turn this off. Because you don't deserve to listen to this. So I named all those things right now because Scattered Hamlet is our guest this week.
Yes.
All four members. This is the third time the full band has been on this show.
And it's always fun. It's always laugh-inducing badassery when they're on.
Always a wide range of topics from their music to other people's music to wrestling always comes into play and all that great stuff. And, of course, we're going to talk here a bit about Glenn Hughes.
The voice of rock.
Yes, the voice of the heavens. But before we do all that, we're going to play some music from a band called Gravehuffer out of Joplin, Missouri. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. Let's just get right into this. This song is called Shut Up and Skate. Shut Up and Skate from Gravehuffer out of Missouri. Man, we just put up a review on our website a couple days ago that Jason wrote, and you called this heavy concrete.
Yep.
It's not heavy metal.
It's not heavy metal. It's heavy concrete.
Yeah.
With fucked up pieces of rebar coming out of it. They're going to, like, puncture your eye sockets out.
If you're Glenn, this music is Negan's Bat, Lucille.
That's right, though. Yeah, that's what that's exactly it. I mean, you know, Gravehuffer, they're from Joplin, Missouri. I fucking love this whole record, but this song, Shut Up and Skate, is just, it kind of encompasses everything that you hear from this band. That they've got the twin guitar lines, but they're also like brutal and, you know, kind of gnarly and kind of dirty. So, I mean, shut up and fucking skate.
Right? Yeah, it's like, this sounds really cool. It's like, it's got that doomy, sludgy crowbar kind of thing going, but it's like if you mixed it with like, you know, 80s,
like Napalm Death or something.
Like 80s, like, well, yeah, Napalm Death or like 80s thrash punk, you know, like Suicidal Tendencies, like amped up like times a million, you know?
Yeah.
Like more doomy, like obviously, like I just said with crowbar, but this, the attitudes there, the riffs are there. This whole album, Your Fault, is great.
Yeah, exactly. The album's awesome. Death Caprice, Dead Peace, those songs fucking kill.
Destroyer of Worlds.
Yes. It's called Your Fault. Look it up for sure.
Yeah, it's actually not out yet. But it should,
well, be on the fucking lookout.
Yeah, they said it should be coming soon. They're releasing it on vinyl, CD, digitally, all that stuff. Get on Facebook and follow them. Gravehuffer is all one word. That's Grave, Huffer. You know, all the normal stuff. Twitter, Instagram.
Definitely.
Reverb Nation, Bandcamp. Just look that name up. Follow them.
Of course.
Well, speaking of new music, Glenn Hughes has a brand new album out, a solo album. And lately, over the past many years, we've been fortunate that we've got new Glenn Hughes music almost every year at this point.
Yeah.
From different bands he's been a part of.
Some way, yeah.
But this is his first solo album in a while. I don't know what to say other than holy shit. This is like, right off the bat, after 2 listens, I'm like, this is my favorite album of the year besides Anthrax. And it's, I don't even know, one of those things, you know, we have the hashtag all killer, no filler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we try not to throw it around too loosely, but this definitely belongs here. And the thing is, there are several amazing, every song on this is great.
Well, yeah.
And the thing is, it's
Glenn
like,
Hughes.
Yeah, I don't want to say, well, what's my favorite song on the album? Because if I say it, it's like I'm doing 11 other songs injustice by not saying them. Because every song is good enough to be the best song on this album.
Yeah.
And, you know, from the beginning, Heavy, which we've talked about before because it was the first single, you know, the chorus of that is heavy. And it's powerful. And it's got this cool funk kind of groove thing going on in the verses and stuff. And then there's the other songs like God of Money and...
Let It Shine.
Yeah, Let It Shine.
I fucking love that song.
And Flow that are all, that, like Flow and God of Money especially are like really reminiscent of the Tony Iommi, Glenn Hughes stuff.
Yeah.
You know, heavy riffage with that amazing voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, you know, all this stuff. Let It Shine, Steady, you know, just like encompass what this guy's voice is made of. And in that final song, what's the final song called?
Long Time Gone.
Yeah, Long Time Gone. Is just like your perfect Glenn Hughes ballad.
Yeah.
Like there's always one of those on, like California Breed had it, Black Country Communion had it. And it's just, he does that so well, you know. It's like, it touches your freaking soul. That's how good this stuff is. Sorry to keep rambling without you getting anything in, but this thing, I can't, you know, this just came out Friday and I've listened to it completely like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, me too.
So,
well,
there you go.
Here's my thing is this guy, this is a cliched phrase, but it's the truth with Glenn Hughes. He could sing the phone book.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd buy it. I mean, and, you know, he just, this album is so good at blending like heavy riffage that, you know, would make Tony Iommi proud with like soul, you know. It's crazy. It's like, that's how I see, I'm speechless.
Right.
His voice, he goes into all these crazy places with his voice and to still be doing it when he's, you know, 67, and it just cuts like a knife and it's clear as a bell. And, and it's not really even that he can go up high with his voice, which he can. But there's just that, like, he's got that certain, like, I would try to mimic it, but I would sound like a fool. But there's just a certain tone he hits, where with that stuff that's just so steeped in soul and, you know, funk. And, I mean, it's like, it's comforting, you know, it harkens back to stuff, but it's also kind of groundbreaking at the same time. And I think that, I mean, I already know that not enough people are going to hear this thing.
Right.
And to me, that's sad, you know. They're just going to keep listening to their, you know, their same first 3 or 4 Sabbath records and, you know, the first Poison album or something. I don't know what the fuck ever. And I mean, they're not going to give this album the shot that it needs, because it's just crystal clear, slick, catchy, you know, riff-tastic stuff. And I mean, it's going to be in my top 10 for sure. Maybe my top 5, just like you.
Yeah, and well, what you just said about this album, you know, not enough people hearing it, is basically the story of Glenn Hughes' career.
I mean, it really is.
You know, he's actually probably the most underrated vocalist.
I think so.
And probably even bassist of all time when it comes to rock music, because everybody knows who he is that has studied in music and classic rock because of Deep Purple. Yeah. But too many people don't know him from after that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And see, the thing you just said, classic rock. I don't want to hear that in any of this. I don't want to hear, you know, and I know because he comes from that era, but this is not a classic rock thing, you know. This transcends that in so many ways.
Yeah. And I mean, if you haven't heard his stuff with Tony Iommi that we alluded to earlier, like he sang a Black Sabbath album.
Yes. Like
after Dio, you know, Tony Martin did an album, Glenn Hughes did an album, what's his name? Ray Gillen did an album. Mm-hmm. And that's another one a lot of people don't know, and it's great as well. Yeah. And then 2 other times after that, he did albums with Iommi. He did a full album, and then he did an EP. Yeah. And both of those are just unbelievable.
They're masterpieces.
It's like they're
fused.
Yeah. These guys were just like meant for each other. You know, no disrespect to Ozzy. He's the face of Black Sabbath. You know, we get it. But when you put the voice of Glenn Hughes with the greatest heavy metal riff lord of all time, it's just like perfection. Yeah. You know, and then with this album, like I said, there's a few songs that kind of fit the same vein as those. So if you're a fan of those, definitely check this out. But if you're a fan of Black Country Communion or California Breed, there's going to be stuff here you dig as well. Yeah. So basically anything this guy has ever done, you know, he kind of encapsulates it all in his solo music, which I guess is a good thing because he's been a part of so much great stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's that one fucking solo record he did like in the early 90s. That song that, it starts out, I can't remember what the title of that record is. I apologize.
Where it shows him sitting on the cover like in the desert or
something? Yeah. But I know that first song, Picking Up the Pieces. Yeah. I mean, my God. It's like, how did I not know about that one back then? Oh yeah, I was just some stupid punk chubby kid trying to learn Metallica songs. That's what it was. I mean, it's just so, I mean, it's just insane how good this guy is. And, you know, I'm fortunate enough in the past 10 years or so to be introduced to everything this guy does. And, you know, his book is amazing. His book is probably one of the best rock books I've read. I mean, and I love his positivity and I love his story. And I mean, you can't say enough good things about Glenn Hughes, you know, on and off the stage.
His positivity comes through, like, you know, he posts on Facebook and Twitter all the time and it's him. It's not someone doing it for him. And he like is an extremely positive person and he'll reply to people on Facebook and Twitter and everything. And he's just, you know, it's a great thing to see from someone that's that iconic, you know, from like Burn with Deep Purple, still doing it to this day and at that level.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's a good, positive feeling. You know, I could listen to Hell Awaits by Slayer and I feel good. And then I see like a Glenn Hughes tweet where he's saying love is the answer. And I feel equally as good. Right. I mean, it's great stuff.
Yeah. Well, this album's called Resonate.
Yes.
So please, please get it. If you're not sold by us talking about how it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, then get on Spotify and listen to it, and then you'll realize it is, and then go buy it.
Yeah. I mean, if you like California Breed and Black Country Communion, if you like anything Tony Iommi's ever done, I mean, if you like Deep Purple, if you like Led Zeppelin, and we know a lot of you motherfuckers do, yeah. There's no reason to not look this album up and give it a spin. There's no reason.
Yeah, because Robert Plant is one of the greatest of all time, but guess what? He's not as good as Glenn Hughes.
Yep, and he's not as good as Glenn Hughes now.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll say it. Fuck it.
Oh, well, that's definitely true.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because like you said, the voice of rock, and I mean, he's the voice of an effing angel. That's for damn sure.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's number one on my bucket list of artists I've never seen.
Yeah, that has to happen.
I don't care what form it is, if it's a band, and I would love to see him solo, to see a mix of the stuff, but the other great news is Black Country Communion's putting out an album next May. They probably won't extensively tour, but I'm sure they'll do some. So.
But he said on Trunk the other day that he's really going to try to focus on doing a proper tour of America.
Oh, wow.
So Dallas, something, Kansas City.
Yeah.
I mean, I might go a little farther.
Yeah.
St. Louis or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
that's, because he hasn't, like you said, hasn't done a proper tour of America since I can remember.
Yep. So I really hope that's coming.
Yeah. Like I said, Resonate. Check it out. Well, speaking of new music again, Swamp Rebel Machine.
Yes.
Is another new album that came out the same day as Resonate by Glenn Hughes.
And who's that by?
It's by a band called Scattered Hamlet.
That's right, man. That's right.
And Swamp Rebel Machine, there's a review of this as well on NeathUnderground.com click on reviews. Jason wrote a review for this as well.
Thank you.
And it's, I mean, what do you say? If you don't know Scattered Hamlet, your world is about to be blown wide open.
That's right. I mean, we love these guys, to the nth degree. And I mean, they are Southern rock. They are Southern metal. Like I've said, some bands try to be, or, will grow a beard and turn a fucking Sabbath riff around and bend it a little more and try to be a little swampy. No, this is the real deal. And I mean, they're doing it, tried and true.
Yeah. It's like Lemmy fronting Molly Hatchet.
Yes.
No, well, basically, Scattered Hamlet always to me, it's like a little bit of Clutch, a little bit of like Motorhead, a little bit of Jackal, and a little bit of Southern rock, just all combined into this perfect thing that doesn't really sound technically like any of those things, but a little bit like all of them.
I know, and they're also, they take some chances in their music. You'll hear a different kind of solo, or you'll hear kind of a punk rock chorus, and I mean that's just one more thing about these guys that you love,
Yeah, and this album is definitely a contender, for top lists all over the place, and they. They've really put it together here. The last album was great, Skeleton Dixie, but this one's taking it to another level, and I think solidifying them. And it's kind of shown, because these guys are a relentless touring act, and this album kind of shows how they've came together as a band, because Adam Newell wasn't a part of the last album.
Yeah,
and so we've got him here now, and it's. Shown that this band's kind of gelled and made this sound that they already had, but just took it to that next level.
Yeah, it's cohesive, and it's a statement, and it's just it's just so much more together. It's just what you want.
Yeah. Well, we saw them this past Friday night.
Yeah.
At Downtown Lounge, and they
at the Shrine.
Yeah, I'm so used to seeing them at Downtown.
I know. Sorry. Hey, it's all good. Hey, Jake was there.
That's right. So it just had the same feeling, right? Well, we were actually at the Shrine, as you said.
Yes.
And they actually played every song on this album.
Yeah, they did.
Except my favorite song on the album, which is Buckshot.
Sorry, man.
So I didn't tell any of them that after the fact, so I'll just say it now. You should feel bad, guys. No.
You owe Trent a version of Buckshot.
One day.
No,
but they played the entire album minus that song, and then they threw in Shelter, which, was probably the most known song from the last album. There's a video for it. Go check that out. It's a great memorable track. It'll be in your head for 3 days after you hear it. Well, what are your favorite songs on here? I know we talked about in the album, or in the interview, we talked about Green Bastard.
Yeah, I love Green Bastard, White Trash. I think the Battle Hymn and Whippoorwill is just a good 1-2 punch to open the record with.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just my kind of music, man.
Outlaw Breed's great.
Outlaw Breed, it's got the heaviness and it's got the southern stuff we like, being where we're from.
Yeah.
It's right up my alley.
Yeah. And the title track, sounds like it is swamp.
Yeah.
Which is great. And then, of course, the lesson, we get into that here in the interview as well.
Yeah, that's great. That just goes over so much stuff that we've all kind of been saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the same night we saw them, Machine in the Mountain open for them.
Oh, yeah.
And, if this is your first time listening, I appreciate it. I want you to go check out Machine in the Mountain, episode 85 of this podcast. We had them on here.
Yes.
Full episode with all 4 members. They're a great instrumental prog metal band, is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And they put on a great live show.
They always do.
Even though they're instrumental, they've got, Joseph, one of the guitarists, he's always interacting with the crowd between the songs, and they've got samples running, and just the whole theme about them. They've got like 3 EPs out now.
Yeah.
Just look them up. I promise you'll dig it if you love heavy music.
Oh, for sure. And, like we mentioned before, you'll forget that there's not a singer. You're not going to, it's not a detriment at all. You're not going to think, oh man, they just make it so interesting and so fun, on record and in the live setting where you just don't even think about it. You just get caught up in, the journey they take you on and, all the fun you're kind of having. So,
yeah.
And that's pretty important and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely not a band not to be missed. They've actually got 1 show left in Tulsa this year. They're playing the 19th of November at Downtown Lounge.
Okay.
And they said after that they're taking a break actually until like probably late spring.
Wow.
So it's your final chance if you're in the area.
Yeah. Yeah, build some mystique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, should we get into this interview with Scattered Hamlet?
Yeah, just roll the damn thing.
Game on.
So what was your favorite part of the CMAs?
Yeah, man.
I watched Dolly Parton tweet about it, but that was as far as I got. That was my...
Carrie Underwood's legs.
Okay.
I didn't even see any.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what happened.
Yeah, it was on Sunday, wasn't it?
I think it was like the...
We were in Taco Bell the other day.
Yeah, the Cubs were winning the World
That's
Series.
what it was. It was that night.
Yeah.
So, CMAs were so relevant.
I did not care.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift was rocking the other day at the Taco Bell we were at, and I was singing hard.
I don't even know why you asked that, Trent.
Yeah. We were driving on our way here.
Watching the
World
Cubs
Series.
game. I was driving. They kept doing this.
Yeah.
The entire for the whole game.
Now that we have unlimited data, we can stream things in the bank, so our life's changed. That's awesome.
So you don't have to be at a hotel for Raw on Monday nights? Like
We don't have to. We prefer to, honestly. But we don't have to.
If you look in our tour document, like that our fucking team has or whatever, like every Monday it says Raw. So you have to have a good reason to book us on Monday.
The belt's in the van. I could get it.
Yeah.
Remind me.
But Victor gave us these Ascension packs, so now we're all fucking.
Yeah,
ready
we
to
all
beat
actually
out.
have these shirts. We're not wearing them all today,
So we gotta
obviously.
give it up
but yeah,
for the-
Victor sent us a
for the
bunch of
Ascension.
shirts.
So
Yeah.
we traded him a sweet SH
Ascension
pack.
is the world's greatest tag team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need a
We
push.
will
man.
rise.
Well, yeah, I saw that picture you guys with them at some bar.
Yeah, that was at the last tour
in
in
Nashville.
Nashville.
We just had a day off. We went to a bar that was near where they
SmackDown
just did
was.
SmackDown and just
And
randomly
they just rolled in.
Yeah,
Seth Rollins rolled in, and
Yeah,
I lost
two
my
chicks
shit, and I was wearing a Seth Rollins shirt.
Yeah.
And then he was not in a very good mood, so he went and did his thing. But then Victor and Heath Slater came in, and we ended up drinking with those guys till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Victor's
Now
a big
Heath
Danzig
Slater's-
fan and shit. So, so we started
Victor's like always following us on social media and stuff. Yeah, he's
I
really
love
into
when
it.
we were like, okay, let's not get too crazy. You know, when we were talking, we looked over at Heath Slater's, crossed the bar trying to get the last drink. We're like, no, we're good.
Fuck it, let's do whatever we want. Yeah, we got hammered with those dudes. That was fun. It was so much fun.
Well, today's the actual. We're recording this on release day.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I know you guys have been playing. I've seen you guys several times the last couple of years and heard several of these songs live. So, what's it feel like to finally?
You had no idea
Get
what was
this
coming.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a precursor. You know what's coming.
Yeah, it feels great. Well, it's just because, like, even today, someone wrote to us that's heard like some of the songs already because we've been playing them live for a while. I was like, I can't wait till you play Battle Hymn, and it's like, that guy's heard that song, but now it's like people want to hear the songs because they know them and they're hearing them on the record, and that like changes everything for us. It gets us a lot more excited, pretty much, you know. Yeah.
Well, does it feel? Does this feel new to you, even though you've been with these songs for quite a while now?
Yeah, we haven't been playing all of them. At least not like,
Extensively.
Yeah, there's a few that we've been playing almost every show for the last like year.
But there's a few that we definitely held back on.
Yeah.
And now that it's out, we're just not going to hold back.
I'm excited to play full.
Yeah, pretty much tonight. It's pretty much all
Yeah.
going to be. It's all going to be new stuff, bar maybe one or
even
two
fucking
songs.
outlaw
Just because
music,
it's the new album, you know. So
Yeah.
we just want to play it and get people excited about it. Yeah.
It's the whole way we released it was a little different this time because like we made a record label called Buckman Productions, which is different than like self-releasing. You know, like actually making a record label means you have like PR, you have like a team around you, and it's been very weird. You know, it's kind of like
a lot of work.
Yeah, it's been
But
a
it's
lot
cool.
more than we're, you know, usually, you know, we got the on stage part down, you know, like, you know, now being like kind of business people, for lack of better words, was not awesome, but, you know, it was necessary to release the album we wanted to release. If we would have signed on with some of the folks that were talking to us, they want us to change it and make us like a radio rock band. And we didn't want to do that because there's enough of that, you know, and so we
It's
were
never
like,
going to happen.
yeah, so we were like, we don't.
It's never going to happen.
They want to sit down.
We
with
could have sold our souls
Oh, God, yeah.
last year probably.
Yeah.
And released a totally different record. But that's not what we wanted to do.
Yeah, that was kind of the whole. So the
here we
album
are.
that everybody's hearing, that people are liking, that's getting good reviews, was the album that the industry did not want us to
Yeah, a
release.
lot of folks said it wasn't good enough.
So it's really
So-
back asswards, like
so there you go.
but you know, it is what it is. Now we're business people. Can you tell?
The suits.
Yeah, you look totally different from last time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
all
it's
changed,
completely
man.
different.
It's all changed.
Well, did you guys have like a whole bunch of songs and had to narrow it down, or like was there stuff that didn't make it, or was this pretty?
There's a co-song.
Yeah, some we bailed on early on because we kind of had the core of what we wanted to put on there. But then there was one that we messed with forever that we just
It didn't click.
we just didn't think it fit on the album, and the producers weren't stoked about it either. So we were like, all right, cool.
But yeah, there's only one or two ideas that kind of, because some of these songs we wrote, it's been a long period of time. So some of them got written a while ago, some of them more recent to when the album got recorded. So it's been a longer period. We've had some good time to craft the songs how we wanted to and stuff, which has been cool. But yeah, just took a
Stonewall
while.
Jackson's old.
Stonewall Jackson was the first song we wrote for this album, and that came about a
a
while
long time ago. You know, that was, I don't even remember.
Yeah, which is actually, and now that's one of the songs of the reviews that like people are like really stoked about.
We're in a secret location that we can't disclose, and the only place I had this idea, and I was like, Jake, we gotta get this idea ready. Nobody wanted to get up or anything. I was like, no, you gotta come down here. There was a electronic drum kit and like this little shitty amp, and I was like, we're going down there. We gotta work this song out. And the room that we had to go down in was a room, a giant hydroponic like growing weed plants like you couldn't
Surrounded by
believe.
weed.
Like it was fucking amazing. Like
And there happened to be some sweet.
and there just happened to be an
sound.
electronic kit in
Yeah.
the basement, and
Yeah, him and I sat down.
and so we sat down, and I mean, and of all the songs, it's funny because that one is very much unchanged from. There's very little different than what we just hammered
Yeah.
out that day. It was really crazy. Like some of them go through all these changes. You know, like they're like
one's pretty straightforward.
That one was like, oh yep, done. We just put that in the. You know, we went
Yeah,
upstairs.
we
we're
recorded
like,
the demo on our phones because I think I put the electronic
Yeah.
kit through an amp.
Yeah, and it was-
you had a sweet little mini amp, and we recorded the demo on our phone.
Yeah, the
We're like,
tones were
yeah.
sick, man.
Yeah, man, you guys want to hear that demo for sure?
Yeah.
They'll go on the B-sides or rarity.
C-sides.
Yeah, the
I
rare.
know.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
Yeah,
That was rough. But I'll never forget that. Like some of them, you don't really remember where they were written exactly. But
That
that
one I
one, like
remember
just
pretty
because
well.
of that whole,
surroundings.
because also, I mean, when do you craft songs in a giant like marijuana growing room like that? Like that was just pretty sweet. You know? It was pretty incredible. I was like, this is sweet. Like so. Yeah, so that's the Stonewall Jackson song.
So yeah, we've been writing songs for a while. It's basically what the question was. I think we've been writing songs for a while. We scrapped a couple ideas and a couple songs, but yeah, and then we came out with these 11 pretty much. So
I got a new knife with a shark on it. That happened. Trying to think of new things that happened since we saw you last.
Hopefully that dog found its owner.
Yeah, that it did
Never
actually.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that happened. I haven't worked any more animal control shifts. The other big news for us is we've hated for a long time having the label like, oh, so you guys are like you're from LA, and we're like, no, god damn it, we're not from LA. You know, like we just happened to all be there at one point in time, and we were touring out of there, and but no more. We're touring off out of the East Coast now. So
Really?
like this is all like literally everything is with us. Like our entire
we're moving our base of operations
yeah,
to Pennsylvania.
we're moving it to the Appalachian bunker.
yeah.
And I want to make sure that like I can shoot out the back door, and we have a big refrigerator for beer there now.
Yes.
And
Number
yeah, so
one.
we're pretty excited. We soaked all the juju out of the warehouse in LA with this album, so it's all gone.
Yeah, there's nothing
No
left.
good.
So we're
Yeah.
moving to a new location for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for you guys, like, and you know, like basically anyone, you know, all the markets are way closer now. You know, for us to tour, we don't have to drive like 20 hours to get to the first
Like we
show.
just
I'm
fucking did.
sick of that.
Yeah. My
We
lord,
drove
man.
from LA to here
To here.
to play the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Not awesome.
You know, typically
So
our
no
tours
more of
start,
that.
you know, in the Midwest. It was doing this has been like a huge kind of morale boost, you know. So that's going to be. So that was big.
Was that always been, I guess, your best shows throughout the Midwest?
Yeah.
Midwest
Besides-
and South.
Midwest and South. Yeah, you know.
Strangely enough, it's starting to pick up on, like in the like
East
your
Coast?
New York, New Jersey
Yeah.
stuff is starting to pick up. Like Virginia Beach, like
Maryland.
yeah, Maryland, like places we really weren't anticipating. Like kind of ended up being
All areas that weren't near anywhere in California
Yes.
where we were touring out of. So now we're moving closer to
Yeah.
all these places, so which is going to be a lot nicer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it took off faster there than like Southern Cal. You know, like in being based in Los Angeles, you know, we obviously played cool places there, but you know, we're not exactly.
It's not our scene.
Yeah, you know, like they have a really cool underground like metal scene, but it's very like it's kind of clicky. They have a way they want it to sound. We don't sound like that, and we don't also look like glam rockers, you know, because we're not really. I don't want to wear eyeliner and shit like that. You know?
No.
I mean, if somebody does, it's fine. It's just not for me. You know, I
Yeah.
look ridiculous. And
I don't know, dude. My boots are pretty sweet.
your boots are sweet. If you wear them on the outside, though, that'd be better.
I'm never going to do it. Maybe later.
Well, have you been able to get booked in Pittsburgh yet? Because I remember that's what you said a while back. That
Well, yeah, it was funny. Yes, we were supposed to play there, and there were several venues that want us, but one of their good venues just closed, and it backlogged everything, and we couldn't get a show on any of the dates we wanted. So we had promoters that wanted it. We had promoters that wanted it in Morgantown, West Virginia, which is actually just as close, and we wanted to do one of those because that's, you know, closer to, you know, my hometown and stuff. And but yes, it didn't work out this time. So we will be playing there. Like the CDs are selling really well there. And but yeah, so we've been dying to do a show in that area, you know, on a good night, and yeah, but for some reason,
Not this tour.
right.
Not this tour.
For some reason, they'll let all right, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, just not this tour.
Yeah,
Next tour.
Like for example, if Johnny and the Whack-Offs wants to play on like a Saturday night,
that could be a real band we don't know.
And Johnny and the Whack-Offs draws like 3 people. For some reason, they'll book that band for a really sweet venue for like 3 months in advance.
Wow.
And then when you come in and be like, hey, we got a show where you guys could like make money and stuff. And they're like, oh, we got Johnny and the Whack-Offs that night. I'll be like, well, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't you just put Johnny and the Whack-Offs on? We'll headline, let them play, or, and then it'll be a win-win wherever this. Well, Johnny and the Whack-Offs plays a 2-hour set. It'd be like, well, the 3 people that come to see Johnny and the Whack-Offs might not want to see 3 hours. Maybe they could 2 hours. They could condense their set and play their 10 best songs, and then maybe Johnny and the Whack-Offs will have like 10 people come to the next show, and it'll be fucking magic.
But not this tour.
So that's how. That was our situation in Pittsburgh.
But just not this tour. So
not this tour. We have friends we have a lot of friends in good bands like in Pittsburgh, and a lot of them are on tour. And a lot of them are like punk bands, so like we don't really fit into their scene. But yeah. So there's some cool ones in Morgantown. Just doesn't. West Virginia doesn't have a whole lot of venues. So they actually had like some really good shows going on the weekend we wanted, so we just didn't get to work in there. But we'll be at one of those places or something. But then hopefully Johnny and the Whack-Offs will open up for us and we'll.
So you can get those 3 fans.
Well, yeah, and they'll come, and our audience is going to be fucking spellbound by what they do. And
They're a great band.
Yeah,
great
next time they'll be like, "Fuck, man, we're going to go watch Johnny and the Whack-Offs."
Wait till you see I start my new band called Johnny and the Whack-Offs.
Yeah.
And you'll see what's up.
Yeah.
Maybe we should open for ourselves as Johnny and the Whack-Offs.
That'd be sweet. We do Hulk Hogan.
That'd be sweet. I want to play drums. Wouldn't that be an amazing set?
Nope.
We'd have to be like noise core. We just got caught core, and then it's something neat. Where we're like, yeah, no, this is core, man. You never heard nothing like.
So that's what's happening.
Yeah. So welcome for that breakdown.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk a couple things about Green Bastard. That song fucking rips. I like the beginning of your solo. It's kind of Eastern.
Yeah.
And then it just goes into balls out. I mean, how did that did you have to work on that, or did it just...
Well, it was funny, when I got sent the demo, that solo was actually longer too, believe it or not. And, Joe wrote the rhythm guitar parts, and there's so much guitar work on the album, I wanted something different, especially for this one, since in my mind it was, it's an ode to professional wrestling, so I was like, I kind of wanted, what I envisioned was to have kind of different guitars, kind of be like different wrestlers, and kind of embody that, And it was different too, because instead of trying to make like one like melodic storytelling solo, I could change it up, because it was, it changes keys and whatnot. So it made me kind of write different on that. The Middle Eastern part, we wanted to get Iron Sheik on the album, but Iron Sheik was, I think it was on the ballot.
We literally tried.
I emailed him, I think, like 3 times. I contacted him on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook.
We wanted him to.
He'll repost our anti-jabroni tattoo and stuff and take credit for it, but he will not respond.
We wanted him to have a soundbite in the album, but
we're like, can you just say like Scattered Hamlet, I'll break your neck? He wouldn't get back to us.
He never did. But we still gave him. CB did the.
I did that solo. I'm Providence. I used to play in a couple like weird kind of like world bands and stuff, where we do different weird types of music. So it was cool to kind of incorporate that a little bit on the album.
Yeah, so it was the Iron Sheik, and then it was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Because here we got Stone Cold.
If you listen, but when the solo comes in at the very start, he says Iron Sheik, and we actually got a ring bell that goes ding, ding, ding. Yes. It's all in the background if you listen closely, and then he goes Stone Cold, and that's the next half of the solo, and you can hear a beer can open. You gotta listen close, but it's all in there.
That was very fun to do. I've never wrote a solo like that before. It was very fun.
That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite ones on the album when that comes in. And the other funny thing about recording that one is we were all in the studio, and the studio we were working at that time has this real. It's like in the Hollywood Hills. It's got a pimp ass pool and stuff. It's like a lot of hip hop people go to this one. So Crash was out in the pool the whole time. He's just out there in the pool, and we're just like, hey, Crash, can you just come in and lay some scratch vocals down on that? What? We need you to just come and get in the vocal booth. And like, and we weren't really sure what was going to happen, you know, and I was like, all right, we'll work with him on this, you know, we'll go through. He fucking goes in there, and like, he did that in like one take. And we're just like, I'm sitting there with the like producers, and we're like, I'm like, you got that? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, that was
me and
awesome.
Rich are still out in the pool. We just sat in the pool and drank the entire time.
I mean,
because the rhythm tracks were done.
I'm pretty sure Crash went in just in his swim trunks.
Yeah.
drunk off his ass. And just
that's all we did.
Yeah, he just turns around and like walks back out, and he's like, that it? Yeah, he just goes back to the pool. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. Like, you know, like, meanwhile, like, we're in there. CB and I had been in there, like, because you guys got a lot of the stuff done before.
Oh, we were
like,
done the week
the hard
before.
part, like, we just been in the freaking studio, like, you know, like, we're like, it's all dark and stuff. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you know, it took us longer to record the NASCAR Jesus slide with the freaking candle that was lit than it did for, and I was like, and he sounds great. I was like, yes, that's exactly, you know, like, I was like, sweet, all right, well. So yeah, that was really funny. All that
is he gonna do any more shows with you guys? You think?
If it corresponds to where he is at the time, you know, we kind of scaled down the operation a little bit, you know, for this album and stuff. And like, there's only 4 of us out right now. That's why it took us a little longer to get out here. We didn't bring a tour manager. We didn't bring an extra person. So we're kind of, so we're gonna see how that works. And you know, now that we're like Paul Stanley. We're business.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
I'm like businessman.
Okay.
Even on the last tour, we met up with Crash in Minnesota. He came out.
Yeah, he came out.
He sang on a few songs with us.
Yeah, because he lives up in Minnesota now. So.
Cool.
Yeah, he showed up, called us all fat, and got on stage and sang Green Bastard and a couple other songs. And
it's a good time.
And I haven't seen him since. So next time
we roll through.
Yeah. We were like showing him like he's getting press and stuff. I'm like, Crash, look, dude, you know, people are talking, you know, about it, you know, nothing. So I don't know. We'll find him. That's how Crash goes.
Let's talk about how the lesson came about.
Oh, that was fun.
That was from a few different things. Like I wanted to write a song for the longest time that just had like 2 halves, and then him and I sat down and wrote a song before that had the similar ending.
Yeah,
and then.
Basically got rid of the first
half and kept the ending, and then sat down and wrote an entirely new song around it. And
that first beginning, I remember the writing session was funny because it came in. I think I only flew in like 2 weeks before a tour or something, and had a couple ideas, and was like, okay, let's have a writing day. We go in there. You were hungover as hell. I remember that. Come in, and we were trying to. We wanted to use that last half or something, but we didn't know what to put in front of it. So we were going through all these different riffs and whatnot, and then it was Rich that came in, and he kind of put that little groove, little stoner thing that you do into it, and it was. I think like that's the first song. I think the only song that we like collectively sat down and constructed and wrote out like that.
Yeah, and then we sent it to Joad, and Joad.
You guys said you waited because it was like 8 minutes, and they were like, they didn't want to send it to me because they really liked it and figured that I was gonna be like, no, we can't do an 8 minutes.
We wanted to make sure that it was
right. So we adjusted
really
a few things.
There's nothing that could be taken out.
Yeah, we made a few adjustments before we, and then we sent it to Joad, and then it got his brain going as far as the theme and the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah, and that was just.
Well, was that something you had already? The type of song you'd already thought of writing, or did this like inspire you by hearing the music? Or
well, I had 2 ideas, like from old demos that I had, and one was just like too dark. Not that drowning bro country artists in the Tennessee River, which is what it turned into, isn't dark. But the other one was the other one's like a true story. So like it was just, I was just sitting down in my basement being like weird because it happens a lot. You know, and I don't go outside or anything. And I was like, what if I was playing cards and I got stoned? I was just because I go out in the woods by myself far sometimes. Like, what if I just walked on a fucking cabin and it had a ghost of every outlaw there? What would they tell me? And I was like, I know what they would tell me. Then I was probably watching CMT or something. I got pissed off because I was still didn't get paid for that Florida Georgia line thing, so I was probably pissed about that. And I was like, you know what we need to do? And then I watched that Muscle Shoals documentary. I was like, we need to take all those guys at Tennessee River and drown them. I was like, if they got dunked, maybe then we could bring outlaws back.
And that's the longest. That's the lesson, basically.
That's
I mean, pretty much.
Good lesson.
Yeah,
Pretty
so I was
much,
like, well,
yeah.
that's the lesson. So
Yeah.
so
how
if
that
I'm
came
like,
about.
if you're wearing
Yeah.
bedazzled jeans and shit, and take it to Tennessee River.
I'm extremely proud of that song.
Yeah, we were very
was
excited
so
about that.
fucking
And yeah, we
I think
weren't
all
sure
of
how
us
everyone's going to
probably-
respond to it because it's a little, it's the longest song we've ever written and it's a little different, but we were so fucking stoked about it. So we're just
We played
like,
it.
we'll
We
see
played
how
it,
everyone else likes it. Yeah,
and we played it loaded. Like
Yeah, we played it last week for the
closed
first-
with it
yeah.
kind of.
It went well.
Super well.
Yeah, it went over pretty well. Like, we didn't really know. Then you're playing it in L.A., you know, like, so that's a whole nother, like, you know, so they're kind of like, you know, like, yeah, drown some bro country people. If you know what it is, you know, like, I mean, you have to kind of understand the message behind it, so it's kind of funny.
Well, completely different subject. I posted a picture a while back of at a Phish concert, and you said to ask you about your Phish story next time I
check
talk
us
to you.
out.
Check this out. This is going to be good. You
This one
already
time,
know.
kids don't try this at home. So one time we worked for, we worked for this company, and well, my cousins did. I worked for a different company, but they used to get like special box seats for like every show that came to like the amphitheater by us. And one of my cousins was like, we got the whole box seat for a Phish show. I'm like, what do hippies do? You know, like, it's like, so we were talking about it, and we're like, well, hippies drop acid. So we, the Phish show, and we're like, so we dropped some acid, you know, and hippies can be very, very scary if you get like yourself in an acid trip in a place where you're not like feeling comfortable at yourself. Because like when Phish plays, they all got bare feet. Ain't nobody showers or wears nothing. They all like twirl. Like they're all like twirling and shit. And like about the time we peaked, like all these like Phish starts playing and everybody's just twirling. It's like this giant like dance, and it was just like, and then my cousin looks at me and like I'm like starting to move like closer to him, you know, like 'cause it was like you got to get close to the people that know, like, you're like, hey, we got to protect ourselves, man. Yeah. And he starts looking at me. He's like looking around, getting scared. And I was like, dude, these hippies are freaking me out. And like he just kind of starts nodding like this and just runs, just bolts into the fucking like sea of all these hippies. And who were nice as hell to us, by the way, too. Like, they were so nice. And, like, then he just leaves me there. And I'm terrified now because I don't know. And I'm just in a whole sea of hippies that are twirling and stuff. Like, and they're like, you know. And I ended up eating, like, a hot pepper with some hippies and a grilled cheese. And I sat there by myself, basically, like, terrified for, like, the whole entire concert. And then finally, like, I got back to the car somehow. And my cousin got back there. And we're like, time to go home. And the next thing I remembered, we were back in my yard, which was like an hour away. And he looked over at me, and I just looked down. I was like, dude, you drive good. He was like, yeah. And that was it. That was my entire Phish show. So I don't remember anything about the show or whatever. But I just remember twirling hippies, eating a pepper that burnt the shit out of my mouth that was like organic or something, eating hippie grilled cheeses, and my cousin bailing for the whole show. And he still didn't know. I was like, where the hell were you, man? Like, we tried to recount the night, and nobody seems to know where it is.
Not much.
So yeah, that was my Phish story.
Dude, I made it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, man.
Thanks, Steve.
Oh, is that Steve?
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't met.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, man? Jake. Doing all right? Yeah. Nice to meet you, man.
They're businessmen. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Paul Stanley, man.
I'm gonna pull around here.
All right, brother.
Yeah, hey, like, take me out of that interview.
Bit of it.
Yeah,
So what else we got? Misfits. Reunion.
Yeah.
I'm extremely bummed that they only did the 2 shows.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that as soon as they did the second one, that they were going to announce a full tour.
Oh, my friend, just wait. They will.
You know they
You know
still
they
will.
will.
2017.
well, they got along. That was what I was excited. It was like no one's freaking out, no one's fighting them. Like, yeah, so that means it's got to be, you know, like
Oh, it's going to happen.
That would be pretty
I just
sweet.
think that Riot Fest paid them some ungodly amount of money for it, and they're like, "Well, all right, yeah, we'll do this,"
fuck it.
and they're like, "All right, yeah, fuck you
It's
again."
weird that they just have a second like random like other guitar player. That's just out there too.
Yeah.
Like this, I was looking him up. Like he plays in a lot of good band stuff, but it just was like I was like, oh, I guess they're.
It's also funny they call it like the original Misfits. It's not.
Well, that
the
guy is
original
not.
Misfits.
I don't. There's just
Well,
some.
it's got the
It's
two
the-
names big that are
Yeah,
original.
but
Yeah.
the drummer's not at all original whatsoever, and then
Slayer.
even
That's
Doyle,
pretty
like
sweet.
Doyle, the
Yeah.
guitar player, he
Yeah,
didn't
he came
come
along
in
and
until-
later.
until towards the end of the
Yeah.
of the like original era. And
He's
stuff.
very associated with the Misfits.
Yeah, so I just thought that name was kind of weird.
But do you think Dave Lombardo was a good choice? rather than getting someone that used to play with the Misfits?
I'm sure it probably sounded better.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was able to pull out those Misfits songs. They're pretty tough. But I'm sure he was all right.
The music's better with a big heavy hitter like that.
Yeah, I used to listen to sometimes when I was at downtown rehearsal when I first was in Los Angeles. King Buzzo had a rehearsal space down from where I was, and sometimes if you'd go there on a Saturday, Buzz would just have people there jamming, and he's had sometimes you could I've seen Dave Lombardo come in, I've seen Mike Patton, all the and you could just hang out outside the door and just listen to these guys jamming there, and it was just unreal. But I remember I was just you gotta be kidding me! This is when I first moved there. I was beyond starstruck. I'm going to pee. I'm fuck, man! It's well, that's an awesome jam session in this little ass dink room. It's the rooms there are so tiny too. I could even imagine. It just was super cool to, to see that, to hear that kind of stuff. And, he's obviously a monster.
Definitely.
He's qualified to play Misfits songs.
Yeah.
The Misfits are really good at taking equipment and plugging it in and getting the Misfits tone out of it. I don't know that it'd be really tough to get some of them guitar tones and stuff out of it. They can get it. They go in there and it's Misfits.
It's all in the hands, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Doyle fucking beats that guy.
Yeah.
He's we saw them play. Where's it in Austin?
Danzig.
Yeah, Danzig, but it was
Doyle.
when he was there.
Oh, right.
Corrosion of Conformity. Yeah, he came out and was every guitar, he has to hand his guitar back to the tech because he just beat the hell out of it. There's no way it was in tune anymore. He's just freaking arms my head, It's badass.
You want to hear our Doyle story?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got an interview with Doyle, and it was about 4 minutes long because he got pissed off when we showed up because apparently his tour manager told him it was going to be video.
So he got all made up.
So he was all he was rushing around prepared for the interview, and then he was mad at us.
It was your...
Yeah.
It wasn't video.
And I told the girl 3 times before, and she's like, "Where's your camera?" I'm like, "We're just doing audio." And then I guess she never relayed that to him.
Oh, shit, so he did the
So then he's just putting on his boots, and there's a shitload of noise, and he's talking facing down so you can barely hear him. And
one word answers to our questions.
Yes,
and you can cut the tension with a knife. It's we got to get the fuck off this bus. He's going to kill us.
And then finally he made a comment at the end about video, and I said, "Look, dude, we told them it was audio." And then he was all of a sudden cool. He's like, "Oh man, guys, thanks for coming out." After we,
I met him one
I
time.
had to stand up to him.
I met him one time and got a picture with him and didn't remember because I was so fucking wasted. And I opened my phone the next day. I was like, "Oh shit, got a picture, dog. That's cool." He took CB took the picture.
I completely forgot.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was so wasted. It was at one of the NAMM show things, after parties, and he was there, and I was just wasted. I was like, "I'm gonna leave him alone."
Cool as shit.
And then I was drunk as shit. I was like, "I'm gonna get a picture," and I went, I don't remember shit. The next day, I looked at my phone. I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
I've heard Joe's a pretty shy guy, so I think that's not too uncommon. The simple one-word answers.
Yeah.
Now he's a vegan too, so he might be grumpy because he hasn't been eating much. I mean, he's like a fucking machine. You don't eat any animal products, you're gonna get angry, man. So he's easily gonna kill somebody. That tour we saw his ladies band. What was their name?
Arch Enemy.
Before that.
No, the Agonists.
Yes, that was it. Because they were there was them,
Yeah.
Corrosion of Conformity, and Pepper Keenan wasn't at the Corrosion one because he was out with them.
they hadn't reunited yet.
And but yeah, it was pretty. But yeah, but that must have been the tour where they found love and stuff.
I think it was.
Yeah, I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
Where they put some hexes on people because they've got Danzig obviously has the power of the dark side. He can do all kinds of things.
You're saying he hexed her into loving Doyle?
This is getting weird, man.
Oh man.
Well, I think Doyle can pull down a lot of chicks. I'm not saying that he couldn't have without a hex, but I'm just saying.
He probably would have no problem.
Yeah, I think Doyle can
Okay.
probably pick up many women. But
Oh, man. I love this.
All right.
now that we've discussed that Doyle's
So that's
skills
where we got now. So here we
This is
are.
the best.
when Jake's bean dip, it's awesome when he sees people that he gets excited about. One time we were at the Hard Rock, and it was it had to be 4 a.m, and bean dip was in full effect. And
I had seen Rammstein that night.
yeah, he'd seen
So,
he
and-
went from
in
our
Vegas.
show to Rammstein.
Yeah, we played a show in Vegas during the day, and then I went to see Rammstein that night with a buddy of mine from Ireland. And then we went drinking at the Hard Rock across the street from the venue, and Rammstein fucking showed up, and I was Rammstein!
Yeah, he's just sitting there, like, we're just, like, sitting there, like, drinking, you know, gambling or whatever, you know, and I just hear, Rammstein! Jake's,
one
like,
of my
pointing
favorite
and, like,
bands. Like,
tripping
like, for
over
real,
tables
yeah.
and, like, running.
Rammstein!
After, and I'm just like, oh, shit, man, I'm going to have to chase
And
it.
I get over to Till, and I'm like, I got bad Rammstein music, got a picture.
See, he sits with him in the booth, so B-Dub's just sitting down next to him, like, hey. And I mean, as nice as those guys were, like, they don't look like very approachable people.
But he was
like,
so nice.
He was, but I mean,
so
if you listen to Rammstein's music, it's like, you know.
But then was it you were taking the picture, and you accidentally did video, and I went to look at it, and oh no, I need another picture, and he was totally cool about it. Sat down, let me take another picture. I was like, oh, you're awesome. Thank you very much. He was so calm and cool. He was very cool.
Rammstein. And I was like, and I had one of my boots off because I threw it at Aaron. I remember because I had to take my boot off.
You were
I don't know.
limping around
I
on
was
one
like,
boot.
so I was like trying to chase after him with like one cowboy boot. I had another cowboy boot. I was sitting up on the table that we were at. He's like Rammstein, like Rammstein. And that was it. And we were, that was the night Nate was with us. I wanted to go to circus like Hunter S. Thompson. And we decided to drink Four Loko. So, like, we were all ridiculous. Yeah, it was just a bad, like...
Yeah, that's a bad decision.
Yeah. No shoe.
Rich and I only drink Four
chasing.
Loko on Cinco de Mayo. That's like our tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah, just bad. Like, I mean, it was just like, you're drinking, like, this is terrible. You drink it again. Like, it's like, it's the beer equivalent of Mad Dog 2020. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, what do you guys think about Goldberg being back?
It's going to be sweet.
Are
Yeah.
you a fan?
I mean, yeah, I grew up watching Goldberg, you know.
I'm excited to watch Brock Lesnar whoop his ass.
That's where I stand. as
Yeah.
I think Brock Lesnar sucks.
Brock
So I want
Lesnar.
anyone to beat him ever because all he does is win.
Eat,
He might as well be Roman
conquer
Reigns at
the
this
street,
point.
baby.
Let's just let him beat everybody up
Yeah.
and make him look strong. Boo!
Brock Lesnar.
Fuck those wrestlers. I hate those
I'm
kind
a
of
big
wrestlers.
Brock Lesnar
Did you
fan.
see Hell in a Cell? Fucking Roman Reigns in the Accolade for 10 fucking minutes almost. Oh, I'll never tap out. And then he's got a chain across his face on steel steps in the Accolade.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
never going to tap out. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Piss me off. Yeah. I look at Brock Lesnar the same way. You can't do anything to you. Could fucking shoot him. I'm not dead. F5. Fuck, every time.
In all fairness, I'm pretty sure I could shoot Brock Lesnar. I don't think...
Not in WWE.
You ever see him?
I don't think he would stop. though.
Yeah, I don't think it's stopped.
No, I don't think so
Nah.
either.
You ever seen him beat up
Yeah,
that
fucking
one-legged dude? Who's that one-legged dude that was wrestling?
Zach
for a while?
Gowen?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to... Brock Lesnar's a giant man. I wouldn't...
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to mess with him. I just think it's bullshit that he wins every time, no matter what.
Wait, is that the match where he's like trying to hit on his mom?
Yep.
And
Yep.
his mom's like, no, I'm not into Brock Lesnar or whatever.
Yep. Oh,
and so
yeah.
Brock Lesnar gets mad and goes and beats the one-legged
yeah.
dude up.
Oh, yeah.
So
Dude,
amazing.
he's
Awesome.
great, man. That's Brock's the shit, dude.
Well, maybe he used to be cool. He sucks now, dude.
Yeah, we're split in the
Whatever.
Scattered Hamlet camp about Brock
I hope
Lesnar.
Goldberg.
Well, more importantly, we've been trying to get CM Punk to take his next MMA fight with me at 180 pounds catch weight.
Yeah. So far, not much.
He hasn't really been biting on it.
Not much traction. On that.
I'm ready to cut. I got my team ready. I'm
I'm
ready
a
to go.
Chicago boy, so I'm pulling for CM Punk if that fight happens.
I'm just gonna tell you, there's no way he will get out of the first round. I'll take that out there. I will get him in the first round, either by KO or submission. Done.
CM
Been
Punk,
talking
if
a lot
you're
of shit on the
listening
internet.
to this.
CM, I love you. I have a lot of respect for you, but if you can't beat up the singer in our band, then you shouldn't be in the UFC. Right? Well, here's my stance now. Like, I really like him going there. Brock Lesnar is a great UFC fighter. I've trained with a lot of guys in his weight class that fight in the UFC, and they fuck me up. Like, it's like guys in that 170-pound class walk around like my size, and they're a lot better than, I've trained for years and gone to a lot of pro camp stuff, and they're the level that they have is so much beyond me. Like, and I was watching like his training videos. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, this guy is like, I was like, it was just kind of like one of them things. So anyway, I would like to have that fight at 180 because I can't cut to 170. 180, I'm gonna look like Skeletor. I'm gonna be very crabby. I'm gonna be back here angry, and I'm gonna eat someone when I'm done. I'll be like, I gotta eat you. I'll be like gnawing on his arm. Turn the fight.
I don't think it's legal, man.
You turn into
Whatever.
a fucking zombie?
Maybe. I'm using a radio show to call him out. He has not been very responsive on Twitter.
Maybe this will help.
Maybe.
Yeah,
This will be.
It all helps.
Yeah.
He's going to listen. He's going to be like, oh, who's this fucking guy? He's going to take it, and then, it'll be awesome.
Awesome. Yes.
Well, a final word.
On that note,
Yeah.
As a Cubs fan, I mean,
Man,
what's the feeling in the last couple of days?
I can't explain it, man. I cannot explain it. I honestly, I'm very happy to be here right now. But did you see that fucking parade earlier?
We were just talking.
My
before we met
dad,
with
my
you guys.
brother are up there, and they're getting fucked up in Chicago. But I'm glad I got to see it, and like, for real, it's...
After the Cubs won, we found the nearest truck stop, and him and I pulled over and down to beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
all we could do.
had to.
We were in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. It's just one of those days, man. Like, when you watch a team lose all day. I've been to Wrigley probably like 15 times. I think I've seen the Cubs win twice. All right, the first time I was in Wrigley, I got stung by a bee. I was young. I was like maybe like 4 or 5, something like that. And Ryan Sandberg, he sent me an autograph like Cubs coloring book. It was like
awesome.
Yeah, so it was like ever since that I was like diehard Cubs fan. And,
He was the shit back then.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why this is like special, because it's like when you got guys like Ryan Sandberg, Ernie Banks, Ron Santo, Kerry Wood, Sammy Sosa, like how none of them have a World Series. You know what I mean? These are all great Hall of Fame players. So for this to happen, it's like it's I had no words. It's fucking awesome. You know, I'm very happy. I'm gonna go drink a beer to the Cubs after this interview. Actually,
I like to bust these guys' balls because this is my favorite thing to bust their balls about. Like whenever like their team wins, I always said like we win. So I was like, listen, you guys didn't do shit. You know, like, we as the Cubs, and
He
I was
doesn't understand team sports.
Listen,
like
no,
like
I do
giant fans
understand
do.
team
Like
sport.
giant fans
Listen,
do. Like us. Because he doesn't
Did you go
appreciate it.
watch Black
it
Sabbath?
says it on their
You
Facebook page.
You don't
Chicago,
go watch
we
Black
did it.
Sabbath,
Yeah,
and
we
you don't
did it.
leave and go, man, we rocked tonight.
The music world is a different world.
Why?
It's a different
Why?
world.
Why is it? You don't walk
Because
out and be
it
like,
is.
dude.
Why are there
we
rules for
killed-
anything?
We killed
It's just
it
the
tonight,
way it is,
man.
bro.
When we came into the Ferries with
You know
boots
what?
on, we
Maybe
were
I
rocking
want
so
a fan to
hard.
say that shit. I want a fan wall to be like,
you know
we
what?
rock
People
tonight.
want to walk away
Yes,
and say,
we
"Hey,
did, man.
we rock tonight." Fucking say it.
I'll be the dick
tonight
going,
when
Yeah.
I listen.
all right,
Yeah.
and I'll be like the dick. I'm like, you didn't do shit, man.
Teams wouldn't exist without fans. Bands wouldn't exist without fans.
Yeah.
Bands, it's just the way it is,
I'm not
man.
disagreeing.
Well, then shut up.
Just saying that. But we did not do shit. The Cubs
We did
kicked some
everything
ass.
all the time.
That team, man, is so fucking.
So there's your final word.
Chicago Cubs World Series champions, baby. Woo, Chicago, we did it.
Yeah, we.
No.
That's great.
Well, thank you guys as
Yeah.
always.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys,
man, we always
appreciate
Awesome, as usual.
y'all coming out and doing
Yeah,
it.
thank you guys.
Helps us me snap out of my 20 hours in the car.
There you go. There you go.
Did you drive straight through?
More or less.
it.
We
Yeah,
stopped
we
and
stopped
a little bit here and there. Pretty
hang
much.
out somewhere.
Slept in the luxury Walmart.
Yeah, we had to fill mail orders. Being a label means that you have to like fill mail orders, so that takes hours.
I woke up one of the days, 7 a.m., ready to start driving, and Adam's like, "Oh wait, we got these mail orders we need to send out. We should do that."
3 hours
3
later.
hours later, 10 o'clock, we're leaving the post office. It's just like, how the fuck did that take
Dude,
so
it's a-
long?
We had a lot of orders to fill, yeah.
9 hours on pre-orders, like for real. Wow.
Yeah, the
those
other day,
were
yeah.
tight.
We had to
We're
do it all ourselves.
I
so
mean,
we had
we're
to sit
we're
down
incredibly
and,
humbled about the whole thing, and it's really cool. But it was like, man, you know, like it was a
We
little more overwhelming than we thought. You know, like it was
packing all the
kind of
pre-orders, getting them ready. Yeah, it took
yeah,
us
like that
8-9
whole like
hours
those
just
things
to-
that you're
just
like,
to get
oh
it
yeah,
ready.
this is what labels do.
Yeah, I guess that's why labels have staff and stuff.
Yeah, so when the
Photo
bands,
staff.
yeah, when the bands are just like, we don't need no label. What do they do anyway? Well, I'll tell you what they do.
They take
During
a cut for
the
it.
9 hours that you could have been hanging out and watching Hell in a Cell instead of sitting around, you know.
Yeah, I had to get home and watch Hell in a Cell late. I missed it live, so we were busy doing stupid pre-orders.
So thanks for nothing, fans.
Missing wrestling.
So when they opened their packages, they were handled by you guys.
Yeah, we
Oh,
packed
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
We did
It's
all
one
of
of
it.
us,
All of it.
or if it comes out of like the my bunker too, I have a couple people that'll help me out there, so there's a few people that might help out. Like it might,
We actually
be
write
like my
thanks
wife
and
or my
sign all the
nephew.
receipts too. So
Well,
that's
on
us.
all of the
on all of
pre-orders.
them.
All of the pre-orders were
That's how you know
Yeah,
that.
every pre-order was handled by us.
We're the ones that we do all of it.
Yeah. So it's like, that we learned that. I've always been a fan of like Fugazi and like Imakai and Discord. And if you order anything from Discord, the person at pack it always writes like "thank you" and writes their name on it.
Yeah.
So like we've always made it a point, like no matter who packs it, if someone who does it for us, to always write like "thank you" on it. Like, and it's a Discord records trick. So that's where we got that from.
It's a good way to be.
It's something.
Well, thanks,
No, it's
guys.
cool. Thank you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Hell yeah, thanks.
Right on.
Yeah, good shit.
Have a good show. We will be there.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
hear
gonna
lovely
try
shit.
not to get so hammered this time so I can remember.
That's dumb.
No, what? Yeah.
We're playing Green Bastard, so you kind of have to get hammered for that one.
I'm a real American. Was that like a one-time thing? Or do you
That was a
guys do
one-time thing.
That did not go.
That was
over
the
very well.
only
That was
show we
like-
played it at, and almost
the
no
only
one.
one that
Yeah,
fucking
I
knew
think
it.
No
you
one
guys
seemed
were
to
the only
care.
ones excited about it.
Yeah,
Like, that was like,
the response was not stellar, so we've never done that again.
yeah, that was just like by the time we were in like the third chorus,
at
like
the
we were
end
just
where it
like,
triples,
man,
we're
this is
like,
going
oh,
slow.
It got to the point where it's like we were so excited,
Yeah,
and
so
we realized that we were the only people very excited about
We
it.
were like, man, we're gonna bust this out. Fuck, people are gonna love it.
Yeah.
and not really. That wasn't the case. So it's
Yeah.
fine.
That
It's
did not
fine.
happen
That's
at
you.
all.
Sometimes you throw a line out and it doesn't. You don't
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah, so it was a special treat one
It
time.
was
only.
especially. Yeah, you guys saw the only time that's ever probably ever
That's
gonna happen.
not the first time that's ever happened, and definitely ain't gonna be
Well,
the
that was the
last.
first time that.
Yeah, and that definitely will be the last of that.
Unless,
specifically
like,
That
happened.
particular-
unless Hulk Hogan asks us to like
Whoa,
play
whoa,
his
whoa,
entrance
whoa,
for him
that-
at
that's
an
all.
event.
Yeah.
Then we're in.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Adam, Rich, and Jake from Scattered Hamlet. All four guys, thank you much for taking the time out. That was pretty lengthy. That was 40 plus minutes
Yeah.
just hanging out outside out there before the show. So try to ignore the fire sirens and the
The people driving by.
random noise, but I don't think it's too bad, and I haven't edited that yet, so I don't know. Maybe you heard Steve Murdoch, maybe you didn't.
You might have heard Steve Murdoch, and if you do, that's okay.
Yeah, he said to cut him out, but maybe I'm going to leave him in just to piss him off.
I think you should.
Maybe I'll do half and half. I'll leave part of it in.
Yeah, it's all there, warts and all. Yeah. We love Steve, so it doesn't matter. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
anybody else that would have pissed me off.
Yes, exactly. But this was a great interview. Thanks to them for doing it. Their show was good. We had a great show.
Oh, yeah, there you go. We did.
You got it.
Yeah.
Took you a minute.
Like Jake said, we went to Scattered Hamlet and we kicked ass.
We sure did.
Whether Adam Joad thinks that we did or not, only he did. Nope, we did as well.
That's right.
Because we're fans of Scattered Hamlet. Well, like we mentioned earlier, and like you heard in that interview, you need to pick up Swamp Rebel Machine. It's out now, and it's definitely a kick-ass album if you like Southern rock and you like metal. Combine the two and you got this badass band.
Exactly.
And their live show is not to be missed, and they're always touring. So no matter where you're at in the country, at some point you should be able to see them in 2017. I would think.
You could. Yeah, you'll be able to see him.
Yeah. And once again, NeathUnderground.com is our website. There's a review up there for this album. There's also a review for the band we played earlier, Gravehuffer. And like we mentioned earlier as well, check out Resonate by Glenn Hughes. And while you're at it, all our podcasts are there on the website as well. They're also on SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. 94 previous episodes. 2 of those also had Scattered Hamlet. So if you dug this, go back and listen. They're all a fun time.
Yeah, the more hilarity.
Yeah. And who else? We've had tons of people on here.
Oh man, we've had Micah, the Attic Chick, Sid Falk from Overkill. We've had Ryan Neff from Miss May I, Shooter Jennings.
Yes.
We've had Ian Moore and the Lossy Coils. We've had, guys from Warrant, Trickster, Europe. I mean, the list goes on.
Great White,
Oh,
Crowbar, Active Defiance, Death Angel, Megadeth, Non-Point, Soil,
Murder FM,
Drowning Pool.
yeah.
So,
I mean, it's all out there. You just gotta, get into it. Avatar.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Definitely check that out. We've had on we are massive fans of Swedish music.
Yes.
Jason
Yes.
especially loves ABBA, but I love, they're all right, I guess.
Hey, you love Roxette, so I don't want to hear it.
That's true, but anyway. No, but we've now, successfully had two guys that are members of bands from Sweden,
Yes.
with Europe and Avatar.
That's right.
Next stop was Soilwork and Evergreen and Flames and Backyard Babies and whatever else.
That would
Ghost.
be awesome. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Well, I think we're just rambling now. So thank you again for listening. Thank you to Scattered Hamlet. Got anything else?
I think that's it. Turn it off, man.
No, we should mention next episode. Who is it?
King.
Eddie Valise from King.
Yes, we got Eddie Valise from King on the next episode, and it's a pretty good one, too.
Yeah, he's the singer and guitarist of this amazing three-piece band called King. If you do not follow him, go look him up and be prepared. It's KYNG.
Yes.
New album, Breathe in the Water, is another contender for top 10, definitely. All three of their albums are great. If you like, Clutch and stuff like that, it's like that, but even a little more expansive. So definitely go check that out. Be on the lookout for that episode. And until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.